Karen Akavala from Human Touch Media. I am here today with Becky Livingston, the CEO of Penn Hill Marketing. Becky has kindly invited me to be a part of her new series called The Soul of Social, where she will answer all of your pressing social media questions. I will turn it over to Becky from my paradise in the Caribbean to her stylish office that she can introduce herself. So Becky, you take it away.
Thanks, Karen. It's great to see you finally. It's been weeks and weeks. But yeah, this new thing that we're working on, the soul of social media, is focusing on questions that are answered by me from people like you. I've asked my students to send in questions. I've asked colleagues, peers, people in the industry, just small business owners, my clients. If you have a question about social media, send it in to me and I'll see if I can answer it for you. One of the things that we really want to talk about is, why is this thing called the soul of social media? And it's called the soul of social media because the company's name is Penn Heel Marketing. And the heel represents my love of shoes. So that's where the soul comes from in Penn Heel, in the soul of social media. So it's a great name. Karen came up with the name and I really liked it, and we're going to run with it.
Okay, let's get started. So I have some questions here in front of me that I will read off. The first one coming from Jennifer. And she writes, if I am in the middle of a campaign and I want to edit it, how can I do that without starting a new one and paying for a new one? Will this count as my 3 ad sample, or would this be a 4th?
That's a great question from Jennifer. One of the things to think about in social media advertising is you do have the ability to edit your existing advertising. So you can change your headlines, you can swap out your pictures, you can change your description to information. The only thing you probably can't change without creating a new ad is the link to the content. So you can edit anything. Sometimes it requires you to pause the advertising campaign to make the edit and then publish again. For example, on Facebook, you need to publish the ad again once you edit it. You shouldn't have to add another ad to the campaign though and turn off anything else. You should be able to edit the ones that you've already created without adding in a new one to the campaign. Great question.
Okay, yes, I have that question myself sometimes. Okay, the next one comes from Danielle. And Danielle writes, why do almost all social media platforms seem to go from social media to a place where likes turn into sales and selfies into ads, rather than remaining a strictly social connectivity platform?
Yeah. It is fascinating and frustrating all at the same time. That's why people hijack from one platform to another quite often, is because the advertising turns them off. Originally, when social media started in around 2004, when it became a little bit more mainstream, it was really meant to be a conversational platform for people to talk about things of interest to them. So once marketers and business people found out there were collections of people in their target market space, they wanted in, and they wanted to figure out how they could get in. And originally they were doing conversations, they were having meetups, they were doing whatever they could do to start building a relationship. And then once the marketing option became an idea, because the business owners, think for example, Facebook, when Zuckerberg figured out that he could make money off this platform, hello, enter the advertisers. Mm-hmm. It's frustrating, but one of the things business people need to be thinking about with social media is that it's really about building a relationship. It's not strictly advertising. It's not a hard sell. So let's say, for example, you have a company that wants to raise funds for a nonprofit that they support. And they could do it a couple of different ways. Take, for example, Tom's Shoes. Tom's Shoes donates a pair of shoes for every pair of shoes that they sell. People who understand the brand and know the brand know that about the brand. What if they did an advertising campaign that said, use this coupon to buy a pair of shoes for someone else? Would that feel more like advertising, even though it's the same thing that they're already doing, but they're asking you in an advertising campaign? It feels very different, even though it's accomplishing the same goal. So building a relationship with someone on social media is really important before you start to sell, because it's a natural progression of a relationship. You're a business owner, they're a consumer of services or products, and there's an expectation eventually there has to be some give to get. If
I think that a lot of consumers today are sort of really wise to the fact that they're being advertised. They just don't want to be sold to all the time. They want to have a brand, especially maybe the younger crowd, like the Gen Z, want to have more of an authenticity than.
Sure, think about how Coca-Cola does it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, they don't do a hard sell. They create stories that support their brand. It's about a lifestyle. It's about family. It's about community.
Yeah.
But where's that Coca-Cola bottle? Right there in your face.
Right.
Selling the product. Subtle, but it's there. And of course, they've been doing it for 100 years. So.
And do you think that a lot of brands do that wrong, where it's really just like, here, buy our product, buy our product, buy our product, not necessarily getting you involved in an experience or trying to at least make you think that they care about you, or they want your engagement?
Yep, I absolutely.
Stuff like that, where I'm like, yeah, okay.
I completely agree. I think that that's true, because if all you want is my money, I've already got a brand that I'm giving money to. I know who they are. I know what their products are. I've used their products. I trust their brand.
Right.
If there's something new about you, for example, I'm a dog lover, and if a product comes across my feed in social media and there's a dog in it, I'll probably look at it, but then I'll go look at the company to see who they really are before I do anything with them, because I want to make sure that I align with them and they align with me before I buy a product or support a cause or generate any additional social media marketing or any kind of effort toward their brand.
Right. And do you think that, like, how much do you think is authentic when you see, if I see a post from a brand, even that I like, or just a particular company that I like, and I don't see a whole lot of negative comments, I have like 3,000 comments on a post from a brand that I like. How many of those do you think I could really believe?
It depends on the brand. I mean, do you read Amazon reviews for products? I always do, even though I know some of them are bought. So I have to be able to say, how much am I willing to trust people I don't know? And I do put, if I see consistently positive responses to something and a few negative, I'll read the negative ones too, just to see if that's a pain point for me.
Mhm.
So for example, if I'm buying shoes, obviously, if I'm buying shoes, if someone says, I've been wearing these shoes for 10 years, I love this brand, the product is great, the quality is good, and I keep consistently seeing that message, if it's a new brand for me, I'll tend to believe it. And then I'll even read the negative ones.
Right.
Just because I have to educate myself before I buy a product. I mean, I don't know.
Right. Okay, well, thanks, Becky. That concludes our first episode of The Soul of Social. And stay tuned for future episodes. You can subscribe to Becky's YouTube channel by clicking below. And that way you can be informed when our next installment of The Soul of Social appears.
Great. Thanks a lot, Karen. If you have a question, feel free to enter it. We've got a special URL where you can enter a social media question, and we'll see if we can get that into the soul of social media.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great day.